We have such a powerful conditioned response of our brains narrowing down, shutting down, being unable to think about the big picture because the brain has gone into effectively threat. So that when the brain is in threat, it focuses on very, very, very small details. How can one solve problems or make clear decisions if you're only literally seeing only a tiny part of the picture?
Why do we know what is the best thing for us to do and yet we don't do it? It's not just an intellectual question. You are asking people to engage on a highly complex cognitive way, but you're also asking them to be very vulnerable with their heart, because a futures question is always about the values that we hold deeply and what matters to us, and that's hard.
We will never be completely fit for the future at all times. And that's a good thing, because it's so far ahead, it becomes this really unknown, uncolonized territory. And that's why it's so incredibly powerful, because nobody owns it. So you really need a collective intelligence to see, hey, wait a minute, my vision of the future is fundamentally different than my neighbor. And I always thought, when we talked about the future, we were talking about the same thing.
It's very important that we build these dialogues with people that are close to us, but also with everybody else. They're not only people, other species as well. As a botanist, I can say that. I learned so much from the plants, but it took a while. So I think futures literacy is a process where there's no teacher and there are no students. Everybody's learning and teaching at the same time.
If we could somehow tap into different frames of thinking of ourselves with respect to time, maybe we might get a little bit closer to empathy, to humbleness with where we stand with respect to the planet, to things that have been around for a very, very long time, where we're just a speck in this larger, much, much larger narrative.
We live longer and we think shorter, it seems. We need to slow down sometimes and to just be aware of how we connect with all our different layers of being.
By accepting the fact that there's as many different futures as there's people in the room, I think we could get closer to embracing a more fluid lifestyle where we constantly negotiate with uncertainty and try to extract important information out of complexity, rather than telling ourselves that we can tame it or eliminate it.
Fear causes us to reduce uncertainty. But if we say uncertainty is actually something good, I can diversify futures, that in itself is saying I do not make decisions out of fear, but just the fact that I put another future next to it is an act of hope.
I hope that at a deeper level there is an alternative way through a problem space that opens up that problem space and that allows for new insights to come about.
I think it's a rare pleasure to work in a discipline where you can hold the terror and the awe in the one moment and be okay with that complexity.
It's critical for us as a species to maintain, if not develop and support, cognitive flexibility. In a sense, we're walking down a path of destruction that is not necessary and that can easily be changed.
From my experience, many people seem to think that many things are just like they are and we cannot change them, and that's bullshit. Just to encourage people, you need to show them that it's worth the effort because it is changeable.
And if you get a better understanding on how and when to use your future images to make not better decisions, because we don't know if they're better or not, but better informed decisions, then you are futures literate.